I guess Happy New Year is in order. It's genuinely been that long. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of why I ended up not uploading, but I am back and hopefully I am here to stay. And I thought I'd kick off this year with my first ever favourites video. I used to do this as a blog post last year, but I thought it would be more fun to give it a go in video form. So let's get started. I've got a whole list on my phone here. Starting off with a bit of a miscellaneous item, this is a 5-year diary that I picked up in Tiger, which I'm sure you've heard about them before. Got different space for each day of the year for 5 years, and the idea is in a year's time I'll be able to look back and see all the things that I've written this year on the same day, and then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's really fun. I've been keeping it by my bedside and writing in it before I go to sleep. I didn't actually start it on the 1st of January, but I fought that urge that I have to put things off and wait until the 1st of the month and just jumped right in. And the best part is it was only £2, so if you want one too, pop along to Tiger. If you don't already know, I am a massive Audible fan. Being someone who commutes on the tube on a daily basis means I have a lot of time where I can't necessarily read a book because there's not enough room to be able to stand with a book open and hold on to the tube to stop myself from falling over. So I do listen to a lot of books on Audible. The book that I listened to this month was Us by David Nichols. He is a well-known male romance author, and to be honest, I wasn't really sure what to expect from this one. The story goes around a couple who are considering breaking up, who take their teenage son on a tour of Europe as a sort of last-ditch attempt to save their marriage. I have to admit it was the travel aspect that I really enjoyed, more than the actual plot line. But I did like that it wasn't a traditional chick lit plot, and there were a few surprises along the way, so that one gets a thumbs up from me. As for actual books that I read, I have 2 for you this month. I don't have physical copies of them because I read both of them on Kindle. The first one is What's a Girl Gotta Do by Holly Bourne. Now, I haven't actually finished this quite yet. I'm really close, but I wanted to include it in this month's video because I know for a fact that by the time the end of February rolls around, I'll have forgotten to include it. So this is the 3rd book in the Spinster Club trilogy. I've read the other 2 as well, which are also awesome. The really empowering feminist book. This book in particular is about a girl called Lottie who decides to spend a month calling out every instance of sexism that she sees in her day-to-day life, which, as you can probably imagine, is quite a lot, and how that affects her and her relationships, and it's just a really good book. I'm really sad to say goodbye to this trilogy. Although there is still a novella that I haven't read that was released just before Christmas last year, which I'm putting off reading just so I can spend that little bit extra time with these girls. Book number 2 isn't out yet for you guys, but I was lucky enough to be given early access via NetGalley, and it is The City of Leeds Gold by Lucy Saxon. I know Lucy from conventions and absolutely adored the first 2 books that she's written, so I was really pleased to read this one early. All of Lucy's books are standalone, although they are set within the same world, if that makes sense, the world of Tellus. I think book 3, this one is my absolute favourite, as it centres around a character called Noah/Daniel who is leading a double life and all the trials and tribulations that come with that. Having met Lucy in real life, it really does just inspire me to get writing, so that is my plan for February. Who knows, maybe one day someone will be making a favourites video with one of my novels included. Next up we have Netflix, and I have finally got on the Kimmy Schmidt train. I don't know what I was expecting, but what I got was not what I was expecting. It's just so much better. For those of you who don't know, because I didn't, and I heard so much on the hype train about this, Kimmy Schmidt is about a woman who is released from captivity after I think 15 years being kept in a bunker underground, and it's just all about her reassimilation into normal life. It's just hilarious. It's absolutely fantastic. I've stormed through both seasons this month and I really can't wait for the next season to start. Which is really good because the one Netflix show that I was really looking forward to was A Series of Unfortunate Events, and I'm afraid to say I'm just not feeling it. I'm about 5 episodes through, I think, and it's just not keeping my attention. Another bandwagon I am 100% jumping on top of is the La La Land bandwagon. I went along to the Cineworld Unlimited preview screening of it a couple days before it was released and absolutely adored every single second of it. I thought it was beautifully shot, the colour is incredible, the story was beautiful, the ending was such a plot twist. And yeah, I understand the criticisms that maybe the actors they chose weren't the best singers and maybe some of the songs aren't particularly memorable, but I stand by what I say and I love that film and I want to go and see it again immediately. I want to give a quick shout out in this video to my friend Katie Brennan as well, whose Quarter Life Crisis Cabaret I finally got to see this month, but it was so worth the wait. Especially for the wonderful Here's to the Girls, which just left me so grateful to have the girls that I do in my life. It was such a fun evening. We were almost a full house, but unfortunately Emma couldn't make it as she was just back from a month-long trip to America, which I think is a fair enough excuse. So it was really lovely to see all those girls. Some of you may be pleased to know that I am also restarting my beauty channel, which I also gave up on last year. So I have been trying lots of awesome cruelty-free goodies, and one of my favourites this month was a Christmas present from my niece, and it's the Sleepy Body Lotion from Lush, which is amazing. I've got myself this whole Sunday night routine now where I do a bit of yoga, switch off from electronics, read some of my book, and then slather this on before going to sleep. It's got tonka and lavender in it, which just makes it perfect for nighttime, and I just want to eat it all up. It reminds me of Parma violets so much, which are one of my favourite sweets. And finally, I thought I would end this video with my favourite blog post from the month. So this is a favourite blog post that I've written rather than any of the other ones that I read. If you do want to know what kind of things I like, then be sure to follow me on Twitter, because every Sunday I've started a Share Day Sunday where I share 5 or 6 of my favourite blog posts from the week. But for me, my absolute favourite one was my 2017 travel plans, because, drum roll please, the girls and I have booked to go to Japan! In September, my friend Jen and I are going to be flying out to Hong Kong for a couple days before we meet up with some of the other girls in Japan for 10 days, I think, in Japan, something like that. It's basically a 2-week holiday, and I could not be more excited. I have always wanted to go to Japan, but I've always been too wary of going on my own because there's such a language barrier and the fact that their alphabet isn't even the same as ours. So I'm really excited to be going there with those girls this year. If you want to know what the rest of my travel plans are for 2017, then I shall put a link in the description to a blog post in question. That's it from me, guys. I'm aiming to post at least one video every 2 weeks on this channel, which I feel like is a nice manageable amount. So hopefully I will see you in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.